what is the perfect food? I'm at the fridge and there's nuts, yogurt, juice, wine, Pepsi Max, pasta, fruit, veggies, meat. What's the perfect food? I think it's a great question. I'll turn the fridge off because it'll ting at us in a minute. There's a lot of talk about protein being the most important macronutrient, because if you don't have protein, your muscles will waste away. There's a lot of talk about carbohydrate. You don't need it, it's bad for you. There's a lot of talk about fat being good or bad. And I've been through the whole process where you shouldn't eat fat because it's bad for you, and now you should eat fat because it's good for you. Some people put butter in their coffee. So how do you know what's a great food? Here's a great place to start. A very long time ago, and I've got many nutrition qualifications, but one of the very first courses I did in nutrition, the suggestion was that nuts were the perfect food. So if you're looking for the perfect thing to eat, they're a third protein, a third fat, and a third carbohydrate, and they're full of fiber, full of macro and micronutrients, so you could live on nuts. The interesting thing about the perfect food though, if you're going to die, that's my fridge making noise, making ice, there's a good thing. If you're going to die, surely the perfect food is the one that keeps you alive. So if you are you've had no food for about 3 weeks, because apparently that's how long we can live without any food. If you come across an animal and you ate that animal, you would survive. Now an animal, even if you're a vegan vegetarian, that animal would keep you alive because it's got protein, it's got fat, and you wouldn't die. Isn't that awesome? If you came across a bucket of butter and you ate it, which is pretty much pure fat, you wouldn't die because your body can survive on a macronutrient, which is fat. If you came across a bag of sugar and you ate the sugar, you wouldn't die. Now, before you get angry about sugar's bad for you, when you're in the hospital and they put you on a drip, it's not a fat drip or a protein drip, it's a glucose drip, because they need your brain to keep functioning, to keep your body alive, and the brain runs on glucose. Muscles run on glycogen, which is carbohydrate, which is sugar. Technically, it's a whole interesting process of what's a good or a bad food. If you break it down even further, all food is made of carbohydrate, protein and fat are all made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and protein has nitrogen. So technically, all food is exactly the same in macronutrients. In micronutrients, and that's why I got so excited about nuts, because nuts have a lot of micronutrition, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and fiber that give you all the things that you need for great hair, skin, nails, bones, muscles, etc. The interesting thing is, if you get too much of everything or anything, what happens? So people think, oh, I'm going to eat all this protein, I'm going to get big muscles. Well, first of all, what creates big muscles is a very important question. You can eat as much protein as you want, but if you don't do any training, your muscles don't get bigger just because you drink milk or eat cheese or take protein powder. You've got to overload your muscles for them to get bigger and stronger. So you have to do strength training to get bigger muscles. If you eat more protein and think that your muscles are going to get better, and I'll rephrase that. If you don't eat protein, because it's a very important macronutrient, your whole body's made of protein. So if you don't get protein and you break your body down, which we're doing constantly, every time you move, everything that happens inside your body, so you break a nail, you scratch your skin, you get older, which means your muscles and bones are going to waste away if you don't keep them strong, all of that is protein. So if you're not getting enough protein, you probably won't have very nice hair, skin, nails, muscles, bones, because your body's made of protein. So yes, you have to have it. But what happens if you have too much of it? Well, your body can only use what it can use. So you can put as much as you want in there, but if you don't use what you put in there, it's either going to get peed out or it's going to turn into fat, because eventually, or very effectively, everything we put into our body, if we don't use it, will end up in your fat cell. And of course that's exciting, because a fat cell is the thing that keeps you alive when you've got nothing to eat, when you've got no energy. Your body says, oh, well, we better take some fat out of the fat cell so this person can survive. So we've got 40 to 50 billion of them apparently. And if you don't use what you put into your body says, well, we'll store it for later. And the storage spot is your fat cell. There's no storage really for protein, just the amino acid pool, which is not very much, less than a kilo. Carbohydrate's the same. Your body's ability to store carbohydrate is only about half a kilo. So if you've got enough carbohydrate and you've got enough protein, your body says, well, where are we going to store it? Let's convert it into the thing that we can store inside the fat cell. So protein can convert to fat, complicated process, but it can. Carbohydrate can convert to fat, complicated process, but it can. And fat is very easy to convert to fat because it already is fat. So is there such a thing as a perfect food? No, because everything will keep you alive. Is there such a thing as a bad food? Well, you could say that sugar's bad, but if you were dying and you got some sugar to eat, you wouldn't die. So that makes it a great thing because it's going to keep you alive. So why the complication about food? And I ask this question every day because I would never tell anybody what to eat. What you like and what you don't like is a personal choice. Your lifestyle is going to determine what your body needs, and some people need a lot more of some things than others. And I'll use a classic example. Elite athletes that do, they're burning calories at a very rapid rate and they're exercising for many, many hours at a time. You can't eat enough so-called good food. You couldn't eat enough lettuce or tomato or cucumbers or capsicums to give you enough calories for an energy expenditure of around 10,000 calories a day. That's why you'll see elite athletes, they eat lollies or they eat chips or chocolate or high-calorie foods because they need the energy. Now, that's a very important side note for me because there's some of the things I really like. How about you? I really like lollies and I like chocolate and I like chips and I like takeaway food and I like cake and biscuits and ice cream. So if I want to eat those foods, I have to have a body that's going to burn them up, not put that excess into the fat cell. And that's the thing that I talk about all the time. Rather than focus on the complication of protein, fat and carbs and micros and macros, how about this? How about have your body in peak physical condition, fitness and strength wise? If you're really fit and you're really strong, that means all the energy systems in your body are going to work effectively. So your phosphate system, your lactate system and your aerobic system are going to work really well. So you'll be able to sprint at 100% effort. You'll be able to go for longer than that at 100%. It's never 100% after 10 seconds. But if you need to go really hard for a 400 meter sprint or an 800 meter sprint or do something at a high intensity, you can because your lactate system will be working effectively. And we live in the aerobic system, which is breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide, burn carbohydrate and fat and a little bit of protein. That's where we live. So if you're really fit and you're really strong, those systems work effectively. Your endocrine system, which is your hormones, the ones that's the thing in your body that keeps you alive, to thrive, to feel fantastic so you can perform at your best. Your endocrine system will work effectively. Your brain, central nervous system will be working effectively. Your muscles and bones, your digestive system, your immune system, all of that will be working really well, which means you'll make great decisions about your food because your brain will be much more, well, and this sounds really odd, but the fitter and stronger you are, the smarter and wiser you become because your brain gets neurogenesis, grows new brain cells, neuroplasticity, which is thinking differently. So the fitter and stronger you are, the better your brain works. So you will make better decisions about your food. When your endocrine system's working effectively, you start eating when you're hungry, you stop eating when you're full, and you don't eat the things that you don't need because your body says, I don't need that right now, I need this. And that's how your body's designed, to keep you alive, to thrive, so that you can live your life to the max. So what's the perfect food? What do you love to eat? Don't eat the things that you don't like. Be fit and strong so you eat when you're hungry and you stop eating when you're full, so that when you come into the kitchen and you open up your fridge and you say, what do I feel like? Now, I feel today I always have nuts in my cupboard and in my fridge because to me, I remember that from my first nutrition qualification, the perfect food, a third protein, a third fat and a third carbohydrate. But I love all the things in my fridge because otherwise I wouldn't have them in my fridge. Why would you put stuff in there that you're not going to eat? Enjoy your food, enjoy your life, live your life to the max and be a healthy, fit, strong person. Could that be a really good idea? Live your life to the max, yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo.